What if I told you the #1 cause of heart disease isn't what you'd expect? What if the true enemy has been hiding in plain sight, wrapped around your most important organ, secretly planning your downfall? Imagine this. You live your life with a sense of relative good health. You exercise from time to time and eat your veggies and limit your intake of clearly unhealthy foods. But within your chest cavity, a sinister force is taking shape. It's not a tumor, it's not an obstruction, but something even worse than that, a kind of fat that's literally smothering your heart. This isn't science fiction. This is the reality for millions of individuals on the streets today who have no idea that they possess a time bomb in their chest. Let me introduce you to your heart's worst enemy, epicardial fat. This isn't the belly, fat you can pinch, or the wobbly skin on your arms. This is visceral fat with a grudge, and it has opened shop in the most dangerous location in your body. Picture your heart as a stunning, potent engine pumping ceaselessly to keep you alive. Picture this engine being gradually smothered by a thick, pro-inflammatory layer of fat. This is what epicardial fat does. It envelops itself around your heart like a poisonous hug, in direct contact with your heart muscle and the arteries supplying it. Here's the thing about this fat that makes it particularly sinister. Unlike other fat in your body, this one isn't there passively. Epicardial fat is metabolically active, spewing out inflammation chemicals 24/7. These pro-inflammatory molecules don't even have to find their way into your bloodstream to reach your heart. They're already there, soaking your most important organ in a bath of destruction. When heart surgeons open up a chest, they find this fat nearly 100% of the time in heart-diseased patients. It's not normal-colored like the stuff in a sandwich or a tub. This fat's a beige color and denser than the normal stuff. Understanding insulin resistance. But what generates this toxic fat? The answer lies in learning about one of the most misunderstood hormones in your body: insulin. Just think of insulin as your body's storage hormone and master key, which unlocks your cells for sugar to enter and give you energy or be stored. When everything is functioning correctly, the insulin works efficiently. You consume food, and your blood sugar level increases. The release of insulin occurs. Sugar either goes into storage or into energy production. Your blood sugar level goes back to normal. It's a lovely dance of metabolic harmony. But what if this dance goes awry? What if your cells begin slamming the door in the face of insulin? That's what happens in insulin resistance. It's like a bouncer at every single one of your cells saying, "Sorry, insulin, you're not on the list." When insulin is unable to get sugar into cells, your pancreas says to itself, "I must produce more insulin," and releases increasing amounts of insulin in an effort to force sugar into resistant cells. This sets up a cycle of increasing amounts of bad stuff in your body. High insulin levels tell your body to hoard fat in the worst places. Your liver starts to get fatty. Your organs get surrounded by visceral fat. And most ominously, your heart acquires an epicardial wrapping. It's as if your body is establishing fat storage warehouses in the wrong neighborhoods. Is your body sending you signals? Your body is always talking to you and giving warnings in terms of symptoms of what's going on inside. There are 7 important warning signs for insulin resistance which most folks disregard or trivialize. Let's discuss your waistline first. If you're a male and your waist size exceeds 40 inches, or if you're female and your waist size exceeds 35 inches, then your body's waving a red flag. This has nothing to do with vanity. This has to do with survival. Your growing waistline tends to be the first external sign that insulin resistance has begun. Second, check your skin. Examine your skin under your arms, around your neck, or in your crotch. Do you spot small flesh-colored bumps resembling little mushrooms? These are skin tags. Do you look for darkened, velvety skin patches in these places? This is acanthosis nigricans. Both are your skin screaming out to warn you about too much insulin. Third, review your blood tests. Should your triglycerides be rising or your HDL cholesterol falling, The puppet master in charge may be insulin resistance. These aren't mere lab numbers. These are early warning signs of metabolic disruption. Fourth, look to your weight loss challenges. Have you been dieting but the numbers on the scale aren't moving? Have you tried every diet known to mankind without seeing anything change? Insulin resistance may be working against your efforts. When there's an abundance of insulin in the body, your body is in fixed fat storage mode and losing weight is next to impossible. Fifth, pay heed to your eating habits. If you find you can't go a few hours without eating, if skipping breakfast leaves you shaky and weak, if fasting terrifies you, these indicate your body has developed a dependence upon constant eating because it cannot process stored energy efficiently. Sixth, pay attention to your energy levels. Do you get energy crashes after eating? Do you find yourself feeling sluggish even after a full night's sleep? Insulin resistance causes a roller coaster of energy highs and crashes that leave you drained. Seventh, look at your cravings. Do you always reach for sweets, starches, or junk food when you're stressed or exhausted? Your body may be craving a speedy kick because it is unable to properly fuel from stored fats. Traditional causes of insulin resistance. Now that we have determined the warning signs, let's delve into what creates this metabolic catastrophe. The typical culprits are familiar and openly talked about. Refined carbohydrate foods and sugar lead the list. With every meal of bread, pasta, potatoes, cereals, or foods with added sugar, you're challenging your pancreas to create insulin. The more processed the carbohydrate, the larger the insulin surge. It's like riding the gas pedal on your vehicle 100 times in a row. Sooner or later, you're going to wear out the engine. Cortisol from chronic stress is another big contributor. When you're under constant stress, your body releases cortisol, hormones, which go straight in and sabotage insulin's efforts to perform its work. You know how when someone can't stop bothering you while you're working? Eventually, you aren't as good at anything. Poor quality sleep makes things worse. When you don't get good restorative sleep, your body also becomes resistant to insulin. Your body's cells seem to get grumpy and resistant when they're sleepy, much like how you do. Being inactive aggravates everything. Your muscles use a great deal of glucose, but if the muscles aren't being used, they don't consume much fuel. Sedentary muscles develop a resistance to insulin and allow more sugar to be in your blood. But this is where the tale takes a surprising twist. Even those who do everything these factors entail, who consume low-carb diets, keep their stress levels in check, sleep soundly, and exercise regularly, sometimes find themselves with insulin resistance and cardiovascular disease. Why? Because there's a sneaky villain about which most individuals remain unaware: the seed oil conspiracy. Buckle up. The most harmful driver of insulin resistance isn't food, it's what you're cooking with. It's the oils that lurk in nearly every packaged item on the supermarket shelf. It's the oils used to cook your meal at a restaurant. It's the oils that may even be in your home right now and which you may think are healthy. I'm referring to seed oils, vegetable oils, canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, and a few others. These oils have been sold as healthier replacements for saturated fats when the reality is much more insidious. Here's what you need to know about these oils. They contain mostly omega-6 fatty acids, which in a purely technical sense your body requires. But there's a catch. These fatty acids are very sensitive. They're susceptible to heat, light, and oxygen. When these come into contact with them, they get oxidized and form toxic compounds in your body. Consider how they're being produced. They're being extracted from seeds with high temperatures and industrial chemicals such as hexane, the same chemical in gasoline. They're then processed, bleached, and deodorized, so they can be stored on a shelf in a grocery store without any refrigeration, but cause devastation in your body. When you eat these oxidized oils, they're built into your cell membranes and will reside there for as long as 18 months. They destroy the insulin receptors on the surface of your cells, which in and of itself causes you to be resistant to insulin. You're putting the wrong kind of oil in the engine of your body. Here's the surprise. The average individual derives 25 to 30% of daily calorie intake from such oils. These oils lurk in salad dressings, mayonnaise, fried foods, baked foods, snack foods, and restaurant dishes. Even those with ketogenic or low-carb diets may be unknowingly getting enormous quantities of these inflammatory oils. That's why others can eliminate sugar and processed carbs yet remain plagued by inflammation, weight gain, and cardiovascular issues. They aren't on a low seed oil diet. They're simply on a low-carb, high-inflammatory oil diet. How modern life creates the ideal conditions for heart disease. Let's piece them all together. The modern world has provided the perfect conditions for the development of epicardial fat and cardiovascular disease. We're consuming processed foods, with high content of refined carbs and added sugars and inflammatory seed oils. We're stressed chronically, sleep-starved, and inactive. We're eating nonstop throughout the day without giving our insulin levels a break. This synergism results in a metabolic catastrophe. Your body's ability to store fat in the right places is signaled by chronically high levels of insulin. Your cellular machinery is harmed by the seed oil's inflammation. The inflammation and poor sleep conditions exacerbate the situation by creating a cycle of metabolic impairment. The outcome? That toxic epicardial fat starts building up around your heart, steadily but inexorably preparing you for cardiovascular disease. It's a process rather than an event, one which takes years or even decades to reach full fruition. But once in train, there's a snowball effect as it picks up speed and size year after year. Here's the best part, and the news really is great news. Epicardial fat responds very positively to the correct interventions. Unlike most other fats in your body, this beige, metabolically active epicardial fat around your heart can be lost quite readily if you know how. The very first and most important step is to eliminate seed oils from what you eat. This will involve reading each and every ingredient label, steering clear of fried foods, and being super vigilant with restaurant meals. Substitute these inflammation-promoting oils with some healthier options such as butter, ghee, coconut oil, avocado oil, and olive oil. Your cell membranes will thank you, and your insulin sensitivity will be greatly enhanced. The next step is embracing a low-carb ketogenic diet. This doesn't imply that you never eat carbs again, but rather being strategic about the timing and manner in which you eat them. You concentrate on healthy fats, high-quality proteins, and non-starchy vegetables. This has the effect of lowering insulin levels and telling your body to use stored fats for fuel. The third step is applying the principle of intermittent fasting. This is one of the most potent weapons against reversing insulin resistance and removing epicardial fat. Begin by eating a mere 2 meals a day, lunch and dinner, with nothing in the middle. This allows your insulin levels to decrease and your body to use stored fat for fuel. The fourth step is utilizing cold treatment. Epicardial fat also deals exceptionally well with exposure to cold because it tends to awaken brown fat, and the brown fat burns calories to produce heat. Cold showers, ice baths, or simply spending time in cold temperatures can aid in speeding up the process in removing this hazardous fat. The fifth step is exercise strategically. High-intensity interval training works very effectively because it targets the body's ability to respond to insulin without instigating the chronic stress reaction of excessive cardio. A single bout of HIIT can greatly enhance your body's sensitivity to insulin. Additional tools for success. Although the 5 key approaches provide the foundation for your heart healing process, there exist other tools which will hasten your recovery. Apple cider vinegar has also been demonstrated to enhance the sensitivity of the body to insulin when consumed before meals. A tablespoon added to water and taken a few times a day will blunt the response of the body to meals and enhance its ability to metabolize carbohydrate. Berberine is a plant compound with metformin-like properties, enhancing glucose and insulin. Sensitivity metabolism. It may be the most beneficial for those who have yet to begin improving their metabolic health. Adequate sleep cannot be overemphasized. Sleep directly impacts a person's ability to be resistant to insulin. Thus, for success to be achieved, combating sleep problems, whether in terms of improved sleep hygiene, sleep apnea treatment, or managing one's stress levels, is essential. Stress reduction methods such as meditation, deep breathing techniques, or yoga also reduce cortisol levels and enhance the body's sensitivity to insulin. Chronic stress works like having your foot on the gas pedal of inflammation. You must take your foot off the gas to heal. What to expect on your journey? Knowing the healing timeline will keep you encouraged and motivated as you monitor your improvements. Epicardial fat reduction will take time but will occur quicker than most forms of fat reduction. During the first week, you will probably find increased energy and decreased hunger as your blood sugar level starts to stabilize. Your body will commence the transition from being a sugar burner to a fat burner. Within a month or so, you will begin to observe improvement in your fasting blood sugar levels and may find that your clothes fit your waistline again. This is usually the first physical evidence of visceral fat decreasing. After 3 months, there will be notable alteration. Your waist circumference will be decreasing, energy levels will be stabilized throughout the day, and blood parameters such as triglycerides and HDL cholesterol will be improving. By the 6-month milestone, there will be tremendous improvements in all of your metabolic markers. Your sensitivity to insulin will have greatly improved, your inflammation markers will be down, and your risk factors for cardiovascular disease will be dramatically diminished. You will be a completely new person. Metabolically, after 1 year, your body will be optimizing the burning of fat as fuel, your levels of sensitivity to insulin will be great, and your very unhealthy epicardial fat will be mostly gone. A new understanding of heart disease. This strategy marks a paradigm change in the way we think about cardiovascular disease. Rather than targeting cholesterol and blood pressure alone, we're treating the cause of the problem, the metabolic dysregulation that brings about the pathways for cardiovascular disease in the first place. Traditional treatments for heart disease typically recommend medications to address symptoms and not causes. Such medications may be life-saving if used in acutely developing situations, but do nothing to help correct the metabolic issues responsible for creating the disease in the first place. By targeting the elimination of epicardial fat by enhancing the body's sensitivity to insulin, we're not simply combating heart disease, we're preventing it. We're treating the cause and not simply curing the symptoms. Second chance for your heart. Your heart has been under siege, but there's still time to mount a comeback. The epicardial fat that's slowly suffocating your most important organ can be banished. The insulin resistance that's ruining your metabolism can be overcome. The inflammatory pathways that have been injuring your cardiovascular system can be halted. This is not about another fad diet or another quick solution. This is taking control of your metabolic state and giving your heart the fighting chance it deserves, based on comprehensively understanding the very biological processes that cause heart disease and addressing each one systematically. The facts are indisputable. The prime cause of heart disease is epicardial fat, and the root cause of this is insulin resistance. And what's fueling this epidemic is this new diet with the stealthy inflammatory oils in our foods. But with knowledge comes power. Power to reroute your path and take back your health. Your heart has been waiting for your discovery of this truth. With this knowledge now in your possession, the real question is what happens next. Your heart's second chance begins today. The road to healing is open before you, the tools at your disposal, and your body ready to react. All that's missing now is your first step. Your unseen enemy in your chest does not have to win. You can resist and you can overcome. Your life and your heart hangs in the balance.